In your own words, can you tell us some of the things you've seen?
This Nintendo, they ain't no joke, okay? I'm talking sex, gambling, drugs, cigarettes, taxis. You don't mess with them, okay? But then there's this Mario guy. It's always about him. It's a me. I got a mansion. Yeah, a couple ghosts, so what? When's it my turn to be in the spotlight?
Oh! I'm okay.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down.
Nintendo is a heavyweight champ, a true fighter. Well, not like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Green blood? Yikes. Finish him.
Back to what I was saying, Nintendo is a fighter. It gets knocked down, it gets back up again.
They dust themselves off, and then they laid a really good one. Pow! Straight to the kisser, and then a left hook, and then an uppercut.
Welcome to Coolest. This is the story of Nintendo.
Here we go! When it comes to gaming, there's one company that evoked more nostalgia than any other. That, of course, is Nintendo.
It may be the most addictive toy in history, and it's definitely the hottest thing this Christmas. Nintendo video games.
Incredible Nintendo entertainment system. Palm of your hand. Introducing Game Boy.
It continues to publish and develop some of the most popular video game franchises in the world, and competes among the big three to this day.
Nintendo was founded on September 23, 1889 by craftsman Fushijiro Yamauchi in Kyoto, Japan, to produce and distribute Japanese playing cards called Hanafuda.
These cards have become popular after Japan banned most forms of gambling in 1882, though they tolerated Hanafuda. Sales of these cards were popular with the Yakuza-run gaming parlors in Kyoto.
Other card manufacturers had opted to leave the market, not wanting to be associated with its criminality, but Nintendo persisted despite fears of legal repercussions and became the leading producer of Hanafuda within a few years.
The company faced challenges from the new wartime playing card stacks. In 1907, Nintendo partnered with Nihon Senbai, which later became Japan Tobacco, to distribute playing cards through cigarette shops across Japan. Hey, we don't serve dog treats here. Get out of here. Go.
Can me and my dog get these playing cards?
No. Cards are bad for your health. Take the cigarettes instead.
Gee, thanks, mister!
Japanese culture stipulated that for Nintendo to continue as a family business after Yamauchi's retirement, Yamauchi had to adopt his son-in-law so that he could take over the business. As a result, Sakiro Kaneda adopted the Yamauchi surname in 1907 and headed the business in 1929. By that time, Nintendo was the largest playing card business in Japan.
In 1950, due to Sakiro's deteriorating health, Hiroshi Yamauchi, who was also adopted so that they could stay a family business, assumed the presidency and headed manufacturing operations.
Oh, I can't understand why I'm not feeling so well. The guy at the store told me these cigarettes were good for my health. Hey, you, stand up!
Me?
Yeah, you! You're my new son now! You're gonna be the president of Nintendo someday. Whatever. See you later.
Wow, that's great. I'll see you guys later. His first actions involved several important changes in the operation of the company. In 1951, he changed the company name to Nintendo Playing Card Co.
In 1953, Nintendo became the first company to succeed in mass-producing plastic playing cards in Japan. Some of the company's employees, accustomed to more cautious and conservative leadership, viewed the new measures with concern, and the rising tension led to a call for a strike. However, the measure had no major impact, and Hiroshi resorted to firing several of the dissatisfied workers.
Guys, I hear you all don't like it here.
What do you want?
You want some sort of union? You're trying to get
bathroom break. I haven't peed.
Yeah, go pee. You're fired. You're fired. Who left pee? You're fired. All of you fired. Get out. I can do this myself. How do you use this thing here?
Hey, you're fired.
Can I get on LinkedIn?
Oh, no!
Yo, there was no such thing as Indeed back then.
You're done.
In 1959, the company entered into a partnership with Walt Disney Productions to incorporate its characters into playing cards, which opened it up to the children's market and resulted in a boost to Nintendo's playing card business. Ghosting is legit, right?
Yup.
There you go. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
You can still get those on eBay, actually.
Oh, really?
The Nintendo Disney playing cards.
Wow.
Yeah. They go for a decent amount of money.
I'm about to get mine graded.
By 1961, the company sold more than 1.5 million card packs, holding a high market share. In 1962, Nintendo became a public company by listing stock on the Osaka Securities Exchange and the Kyoto Stock Exchange.
In the following year, the company adopted its current name, Nintendo & Co., and started manufacturing games in addition to the playing cards. In 1964, although the company experienced a period of economic prosperity, the Disney playing cards and derived products made it dependent on the children's market. The situation was exacerbated by the falling sales of its adult-oriented playing cards caused by Japanese society gravitating toward the adult hobbies like bowling and nightly outings.
When Disney card sales began to decline, Nintendo realized that it had no real alternative to alleviate the situation. After the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, Nintendo's stock price plummeted to its lowest recorded level.
Sell it. Sell the 50% off. I don't care. Yeah, sell it all. What am I doing? I don't need this crap. Sell. What's the Disney stock look like?
Nintendo was in heavy debt, and Yamauchi was desperate to find the next big thing. So they decided to invest in new ventures, like Instant Rice, a taxi service, vacuums, and the not-so-very family-friendly Love Hotels.
Hey, Luigi, is this way the Love Hotel?
Yeah, it's right there.
Just took a pound of mushrooms. I'm starting to really feel it in my Koopa Troopas,
Hey, listen, make sure you wrap it up before you clean them pipes.
Okay, see you later.
Let's go.
How's it going, sweet cheeks? Just took some mushrooms and I'm seeing Rainbow Road.
You better treat me like a princess in there.
Eventually, Nintendo decided to venture into the weapons business. Hell yeah. A toy market, and released Japan's first electronic toy in 1970, the Nintendo Beam Gun. This would become the ancestor to the NES Zapper that was later used in video games such as Duck Hunt.
At the end of the 70s, Nintendo was also working on developing games for arcades. They released Radar Scope, which was a commercial failure.
What was Radar Scope?
It was like a game with spaceships and lasers.
Oh.
Yeah, like every game at that time. After that, they hired a toy designer, Shigeru Miyamoto, who impressed them with his toy creations. Miyamoto helped create the art for the coin-operated arcade game, Sheriff.
The game achieved moderate success in Japan, but by 1981, Nintendo's efforts to break into the North American video game market had failed, leaving them with a large number of unsold units and on the verge of a financial collapse. Nintendo president Hiroshi Yamauchi decided to convert the unsold Radar Scope units into a new arcade game. He tasked Miyamoto with the conversion. Miyamoto came up with a love triangle between a gorilla, a carpenter, and a woman. This one we know as Donkey Kong.
He tried to mirror the rivalry between comic characters Bluto and Popeye, and the woman was supposed to be Olive Oyl. Although Nintendo's original intentions were to gain the rights to Popeye, they failed. Bluto evolved into an ape, citing the 1933 film King Kong as the influence. Miyamoto wanted to make the characters different sizes, move in different manners, and react in various ways.
When the game was sent to Nintendo of America for testing, the sales manager disapproved of its vast differentiation from the maze and shooter games that were common at the time. The playable character, initially Jumpman, was eventually named after Mario Segal, Nintendo of America's warehouse landlord. He confronted then-President Minoru Arakawa. He confronted then-President Minoru Arakawa.
That was good.
Okay, good. Demanding back rent. Following a heated argument in which Nintendo employees eventually convinced Segal he would be paid, they decided to name the character in the game after him.
Initially, Mario was styled as a carpenter in Donkey Kong. Overalls, a hat, and a thick mustache. Since the Mario Brothers was supposed to take place in the sewers of New York City, this led Miyamoto to change Mario's look from a carpenter to a plumber.
I am what I am, and that's all that I am. I'm a jump man, I'm a carpenter. I'm a Mario, I'm a plumber.
Miyamoto felt that New York City provided the best setting for the game, with its labyrinth of subterranean pipes. To date, games in the Mario Bros. Franchise have been released for more than a dozen platforms.
Eventually, the quality of video games started to decline, due to the titles like E.T. You guys remember that game?
The dig for what many call the worst Atari game ever has paid off at a New Mexico landfill. Hundreds of games have been unearthed so far. It was so bad that Atari gave up trying to sell them and, according to the story, shipped 1 million or more copies to the Alamogordo dump.
Hey, where do you want it, Chief? I got 6,000 ET cartridges up in my hauler. All right, thank you, boss. I'll see you later. I got another 6,000 coming.
This led to a decrease in interest in video games in general, which led to the 1983 video game crash.
Atari never got the message. What happened virtually overnight, more than 6,000 people lost their jobs. The company collapsed.
Home video game revenue peaked at around $3.2 billion in 1983, then fell to around $100 million by 1985. That's a drop of almost 97%. These were the perfect conditions for Nintendo to swoop in and take the whole market for themselves.
The Nintendo Entertainment System.
In 1985, Nintendo released the much-loved Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. It was Nintendo's first home video game console, released outside of Japan. To say the NES was significant is an understatement.
Nintendo went on to sell 62 million units worldwide and set the record for the longest surviving video game system in history. They single-handedly resurrected the entire video game industry. NES stayed on the American market until 1995, and in Japan, it wasn't discontinued until 2003.
There were 17 game titles available with the release of the NES. Super Mario Bros., Duck Hunt, Excite Bike, Zelda, and that's just to name a few.
Now you're playing with power.
In Mario and Zelda, Miyamoto decided to focus more on gameplay than on high scores. Unlike many games at the time, Super Mario Bros. Largely took a linear approach, with the player traversing the stage by running, jumping, and dodging, or defeating enemies.
And who remembers or even used the Nintendo Mission Control phone helpline? Hello?
911, Nintendo, what's your emergency?
My Zelda's broken.
Did you try blowing in it?
Gameplay. Hi, Nintendo. This is Craig. How can I help you?
Yes. I was want to inquire about The Legend of Zelda. I was wondering how you go about getting the white sword.
Okay, so you're looking for the white sword in Zelda?
Well, I know where it is, but I can't get my hands on it.
Which quest are you in?
Hold on. Please hold. I'm Widowy the Game Master. How can I help you?
Y'all playing that new Mario game, trying to find Bowser?
Bowser is down the tunnel.
Oh, there
Jump
he
on
is,
his head
Robbie.
3 times.
You literally are the game
Oh,
master.
Widowy. That's it, Widowy.
Did you try unplugging and plugging it back in?
No, I haven't, but now that you mention it, that is a big help.
Perfect.
On January 17th, 1989, Nintendo officially announced the Game Boy. It launched in Japan on April 21st, selling out its initial production run of 300,000 units within the first 2 weeks. By August, sales had reached 720,000 consoles and 1.9 million games across just 4 launch titles. The Game Boy debuted in North America on July 31st, 1989, backed by a $20 million marketing campaign. That's about $51 million today if you're keeping track. Aimed at making it the must-have toy that holiday. On its release day, 40,000 units were sold, and within just a few weeks, sales reached 1 million.
That's widowy a lot. Meanwhile, R&D developed Super Mario Land as the console's flagship title, but another game captured the attention of the Okawada and the Yokoi.
Okada and Yokoi.
That's Tetris. Although Tetris would not be ready for Game Boy's Japanese debut, it was completed in time for the North American launch.
Hank Rogers, who had acquired the rights to Tetris, convinced Nintendo of America president Minoru Arakawa to make it the pack-in game with the Game Boy instead of Super Mario Land, arguing that while Mario primarily appealed to young boys, Tetris would appeal to everyone. As a result, Tetris was bundled with the Game Boy in every region except Japan.
Imagine this. Shapes.
Okay.
Colors.
Yeah.
Package that with your Game Boy.
But why are we picking Tetris over Mario?
Well, Mario's fun.
Yeah.
Exciting. Kids love it.
Yeah.
But everyone can play Tetris. It's boring. You'll sell way more consoles to adults.
You're damn right. I'll take it.
Great idea. Great idea. Genius. I mean, who doesn't love shapes? The much anticipated successor to the NES was the Super NES, released in 1991. The SNES was a 16-bit console that saw a significant increase in processing power, audio, and more advanced cartridges.
Super Nintendo.
At the time, Nintendo and Sega were going head-to-head in what was referred to as the Bit Wars, with advertising campaigns taking jabs at each other and both claiming to have the superior console.
Sega! Sega! Eventually, Nintendo got the upper hand and ended up outselling its closest rival with 49 million units sold, compared to Sega Genesis sale of only 35 million. Games that appeared on the Super NES included the first Mario Kart game, as well as sequels to popular franchises such as Final Fantasy, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Donkey Kong Country, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past.
What a great game. In subsequent years, many other consoles and updates of the current models were released with varying levels of success. Consoles like Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Nintendo DS, and Nintendo 64 with its weird 3-arm controller. Why, Nintendo?
Unveiling the new controller.
I mean, it was sick. Like, come on, best
my
controller.
favorite, my favorite console. Yeah.
There were also some terrible releases. If you grew up in Japan, you probably remember the N64 DD or disk drive, but America didn't even get that release. There was also the Virtua Boy, which was an absolute nightmare if you got migraines.
Oh, the humanity.
Eventually, in 2006, they finally found their path again in a revolutionary gaming console, the Nintendo Wii.
This is our producer Dave's favorite
Dave
system.
loves the Nintendo Wii, dude. He's like, the Nintendo Wii's the best Nintendo console. He didn't have an N64. Who didn't grow up with an N64?
Hold on. Leave in the comments below what your favorite gaming system was. We're going to tally that up for Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea. Yeah. What is your favorite Nintendo console? Chances are I will buy Dave a steak dinner if it's the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, and I highly doubt that. Their way forward wasn't the best graphics or processor speed like PlayStation and Xbox would boast. Their path is always and will always be FUN fun. Wii functionality centered around the use of motion controls. The technology was innovative and unique at the time.
We would like to play.
They added actual physical activity as a part of the game. They were not just selling a game for hardcore gamers sitting somewhere in their mom's basement shooting aliens at 2 a.m.
Ooh, Tomb Raider, I like to raid your tomb. Ma! Hey, Ma! My pizza bite's done and I'm doing Diet Coke. I'm on a diet. I also don't like sugar anymore. I'm trying to watch my figure.
They got the entire family involved in bowling, skiing, tennis. I've seen moms, small kids, even grandpas chasing after an imaginary ball while the entire family is having crazy fun watching him actually win the game. It got people moving, getting together, and having a great time. I don't know if there will ever be another game that will achieve more than the Nintendo Wii has done.
Nintendo continued to release more consoles since Wii, like Nintendo 3DS, Wii U. That was a flop.
That was a flop.
Yeah. And Nintendo Switch, that has respectively sold over 62 million units. This post-Wii period has a familiar feel to it, like the time of the late 90s or early 2000s when Nintendo was chasing the glory days of NES and Game Boy.
Going forward, it'll be interesting to see what the next iconic console from Nintendo will be. One thing is for sure, Nintendo is more than capable of reinventing themselves and carving their own path in the gaming industry, which is both welcomed and refreshing. Nintendo's future is bright, creating real-life in-person experiences like their new theme park, Super Nintendo World, and new console releases like the Switch 2. The products continue to do numbers and captivate kids, teens, and adults for years to come.
Nintendo is a huge gaming universe, and we haven't even scratched the surface on everything. Like Pokemon? Maybe we'll save that for a future episode.
And let us know what videos you want to see, what brands you're interested in, and things you want us to research, because we're here now, and we're going to continue to do these videos. Don't forget to please subscribe and hit the bell icon, because YouTube doesn't show you videos unless you go to the subscribe feed, and that takes a while. You know, make sure you're getting all of our updates. I'm a Brian! I'm a JJ! And that's Bear! Please hit the bell icon, and don't forget to subscribe!
By by running and jumping and dodging or defeating empanadas. Empanadas.
Not feeling very well. It can't be these cigarettes because the guy at the store told me that they were good for my health. You're my new CEO. Damn it. All right, hold on.
So they decided to invest in new ventures, like packages of instant rice packaging and taxi service. Packages of instant rice packages.
Oh, that's crazy because you told me to add the word packages. Hiroshi Yamauchi. Hiroshi Yamauchi. Hiroshi Yamauchi. It's a me! It's a me!
I'm Jumpman. I'm a carpenter.
So it's Nihon Senbai, later Japan Taco.